Sri Sai Sacharitha Chapter 50. Stories of Kaka Sahib Dikshit, Sri Tembe Swami, Balaram Duranda. Chapter 50 of the original Satcharitra has been incorporated in Chapter 39 as it dealt with the same subject matter. Now, Chapter 51 of Satcharitra has been treated as Chapter 50. This chapter gives the stories of Kaka Sahib Dikshit, Sri Tembe Swami, and Balaram Duranda. Preliminary. Victory be unto Sai, who is the mainstay of the Bhaktas, who is our Sadguru, who expounds the meaning of the Gita, and who gives us all powers. O Sai, look favorably on us and bless us all. The sandalwood trees grow on the Malaya mountains and ward off heat. The clouds pour their rain, water, and thereby cool and refresh all the people. The flowers blossom in the spring and enable us to worship God therewith. So the stories of Sai Baba come forth in order to give solace and comfort to the readers. Both those who tell and those who hear the stories of Baba are blessed and holy, as also the mouths of the former and the ears of the latter. It is a well established fact that though we try hundreds of means of sadhanas, we do not attain the spiritual goal of life unless a Sadguru blesses us with his grace. Here, the following story in illustration of this statement. Kaka Sahib Dikshit, 1864 to 1926. Mr. Harinath Sitaram alias Kaka Sahib Dikshit was born in 1864 AD in a Vadnagar Brahmin family at Khandwa. His primary education was done at Khandwa, Hinganghat, and secondary education at Nagpur. He came to Bombay for higher education and studied first in the Wilson College and then in Elphinstone College. After graduation in 1883 AD, he passed his LLB and solicitor's examinations and then served in the firm of the government solicitors Mess Little and Co. and then after some time started a solicitor's firm of his own. In 1909 AD, Sai Baba's name was not familiar to Kaka Sahib, but after that he soon became his great devotee. While he was staying at Lonavala, he happened to see his old friend Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar. Both spent some time in talking about many things. Kaka Sahib described to him how he was boarding a train in London. He met with an accident in which his foot slipped and was injured. Hundreds of remedies gave him no relief. Nana Sahib then told him that if he wished to get rid of the pain and lameness of his leg, he should go to his Sadguru Sai Baba. He also gave him all the particulars of Sai Baba and mentioned to him Sai Baba's dictum, I draw to me my man from far off or even across the seven seas like a sparrow with a string fastened to his feet. He also made it clear to him that if he be not Baba's man, he would not be attracted to him and given a darshan. Kaka Sahib was pleased to hear all this and said to Nana Sahib that he would go to Baba, see him and pray to him to cure not so much his lame leg but to bring round his lame fickle mind and give him eternal bliss. Some time after, Kaka Sahib went to Ahmednagar and stayed with Sirdar Kaka Sahib Mirikar in connection with securing votes for a seat in the Bombay Legislative Council. Mr. Bala Sahib Mirikar, son of Kaka Sahib Mirikar, who was a Mamaladar of Kopargaon, also came at that time to Ahmednagar in connection with the horse exhibition there. After the elections business was over, Kaka Sahib Dikshit wanted to go to Shirdi, and both the Mirikers, father and son, were also thinking in their house about a fit and proper person as a guide, with whom he should be sent there. There, Sai Baba was arranging things for his reception. Shama got a telegram from his father in law at Ahmednagar stating that his wife was seriously ill and that he should come here to see her with his wife. Shama, with Baba's permission, went there and saw his mother in law and found her improving and better. Nana Sahib Panche and Appa Sahib Gadre happened to see Shama on their way to the exhibition, and they told him to go to Mirikar's house, see Kaka Sahib Dikshit there, and take him to Shirdi along with him. Kaka Sahib Dikshit and the Mirikars were also informed of Shama's arrival. In the evening, Shama came to Mirikars, who introduced him to Kaka Sahib. They arranged that Shama should leave for Kopargaon with Kaka Sahib by the 10 o'clock night train. After this was settled, a curious thing happened. Bala Sahib Mirikar threw aside the veil or covering on Baba's big portrait and showed the same to Kaka Sahib. He was surprised to see that he, whom he was going to meet at Shirdi, was already there in form of his portrait to greet him at this juncture. He was much moved and made his prostration before the portrait. This portrait belonged to Megha. The glass over it was broken and it was sent to Mirikars for the repairs. The necessary repairs had been already made and it was decided to return the portrait with Kaka Sahib and Shama. Before 10 o'clock, they went to the station and booked their passage. But when the train arrived, they found that the second class was overcrowded and that there was no room for them. Fortunately, the guard of the train turned out to be an acquaintance of Kaka Sahib and put them in the first class. Thus, they travelled comfortably and alighted at Kopargaon. Their joy knew no bounds when they saw their Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who was also bound for Shirdi. Kaka Sahib and Nana Sahib embraced each other, and then, after bathing in the sacred Godavari river, they started for Shirdi. After coming there and getting Baba's darshan, Kaka Sahib's mind was melted. His eyes were full of tears and he was overflowing with joy. Baba said to him that he was also waiting for him and had sent Shama ahead to receive him. Kaka Sahib then passed many happy years in Baba's company. He built a vada in Shirdi, which he made as his more or less permanent home. The experiences he got from Baba are so manifold that it is not possible to relate them all here. The readers are advised to read the special number of Sri Sai Leela magazine, volume 12, number 6 to 9. We close this account with the mention of one fact only. Baba had comforted him by saying that in the end he will take him in the air coach, Viman, that is, secure him a happy death. This came true out on 5th July 1926 AD. He was travelling in the train and Hemad Pant and talking about Sai Baba. He seemed deeply engrossed in Sai Baba. All of a sudden he threw his neck on the Hemad Pant's shoulder and breathed his last with no trace of pain and uneasiness. Sri Tembe Swami. We come to the next story, which shows how saints love each other with fraternal affection. Once, Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati, known as Sri Tembe Swami, encamped at Rajamahendri on the banks of the Godavari. He was devout orthodox Jnani and Yogi Bhakta of God Dattatreya. Once Mr. Pundalik Rao, pleader of Nanded, went to see him with some friends. While they were talking with him, the names of Shirdi and Sai Baba were casually mentioned. Hearing Baba's name, the Swami bowed with his hands and taking a coconut, gave it to Pundalik Rao and said to him, "Offer this to my brother Sai with my pranam and request him not to forget me, but ever love me." He also added that Swamis do not generally bow to others, but in this case an exception had to be made. Mr. Pundalik Rao consented to take the fruit and his message to Baba. The Swami was right in calling Baba a brother, for as he maintained an Agnihotra day and night in his orthodox fashion, Baba too kept his Agnihotra, that is Dhuni, ever burning in the masjid. After 1 month, Pundalik Rao and others left for Shirdi with the coconut and reached Manmad, and as they felt thirsty while they went to rivulet for drinking water. As the water should not be drunk on an empty stomach, they took out some refreshment, that is chivda. The chivda tasted more pungent, and in order to soften it, someone suggested and broke the coconut and mixed its scrapings with it. Thus they made the chivda more tasty and palatable. Unfortunately, the fruit broken turned out to be the same that was entrusted to Pundalik Rao. As they neared Shirdi, Pundalik Rao remembered the trust that is the coconut and was very sorry to learn that it was broken and utilized. Fearing and trembling, he came to Shirdi and saw Baba. Baba had already received a wireless message regarding the coconut from the Tembe Swami, and himself asked Pundalik Rao first to give the thing sent by his brother. He held fast Baba's feet, confessed his guilt and negligence, repented and asked for Baba's pardon. He offered to give another fruit as a substitute, but Baba refused to accept it, saying that the worth of that coconut was by far many times more than an ordinary one, and that it could not be replaced by another. Baba also added, "Now you need not worry yourself anymore about the matter. It was on account of my wish that the coconut was entrusted to you and ultimately broken on the way. Why should you take the responsibility of the actions on you? Do not entertain the sense of doership in doing good, as well as for the bad deeds. Be entirely prideless and egoless in all the things, and thus your spiritual progress will be rapid." What a beautiful spiritual instruction Baba gave. Balaram Durandar, 1978 to 1925. Mr. Balram Durandar belonged to the Patare Prabhu community of Santa Cruz, Bombay. He was an advocate of the Bombay High Court and sometime principal of the Government Law School, Bombay. The whole Durandar family was pious and religious. Mr. Balram served his community and wrote and published an account of it. He then turned his attention to spiritual and religious matters. He studied carefully Gita and its commentary, Jnaneshwari, and other philosophical and metaphysical works. He was a devotee of Vitoba of Pandaripur. He came to contact with Sai Baba in 1912 AD, 6 months previous. His brothers Babulji and Vaman Rao came to Shirdi and took Baba's darshan. They returned home and mentioned their sweet experiences to Balaram and other members. Then they all decided to see Sai Baba. Before they came to Shirdi, Baba declared openly that today many of my Darbar people are coming. The Durandar brothers were astonished to hear this remark of Baba from others, as they had not given any previous intimation of their trip. All the other people prostrated themselves before Baba and sat talking with him. Baba said to them, "These are my Darbar people to whom I referred before," and said to the Durandar brothers, "We are acquainted with each other for the last 60 generations." All the brothers were meek and modest. They stood with joined hands, staring at Baba's feet. All the sattvic emotions such as tears, horripilation, choking, etc., moved them, and they were all happy. Then they went to their lodging, took their meals, and after taking a little rest, again came to the masjid. Balram sat there, Baba massaging his leg. Sat near Baba massaging his legs. Baba, who was smoking the chilim, advanced it towards him and beckoned him to smoke it. Balaram was not accustomed to smoking. Still, he accepted the pipe, smoked it with great difficulty, and returned it reverentially with a bow. This was the most auspicious moment for Balaram. He was suffering from asthma for 6 years. This smoke completely cured him of the disease, which never troubled him again. Some 6 years later, on a particular day, he again got an attack of asthma. This was precisely the time when Baba took his Mahasamadhi. The day of this visit was a Thursday, and the Duranda brothers had the good fortune of witnessing the Chavdi procession that night. At the Aarti function in the Chavdi, Balram saw the luster of Panduranga on Baba's face, and next morning, at the Kakad Aarti time, the same phenomenon, the same luster of his beloved deity, Panduranga, was visible again on Baba's face. Mr. Balaram Durandar wrote in Marathi the life of the Maharashtra Saint Tukaram, but he did not survive to see its publication. It was published later on by his brothers in 1928. In a short note on Balaram's life, given in the beginning of the book, the above account of Balaram's visit has been fully corroborated therein. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all.